Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, Doug?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, everyone. Hello, Chad. Hope you're all having a good Tuesday. That's today, right? Yes, Tuesday. And a good week so far. It's been another day in the wonderful world of getting up really early and working from home and then zoning out for most of the day. Yay. How are you, Satsu?
Good. Just woke up from a well-needed nap. Was hanging out with the little one most of this morning, and she was being about as good as an almost 2-year-old could be.
Mm-hmm.
So Squishy came home, and then I hung out with her for a little bit. And I had planned on cooking tonight, but for whatever reason, the past 2 nights, man, because at this point, I've finished 11 HelloFresh meals, and I'm just like, all right, okay, we can go a couple days without making a full-blown dinner, right?
Probably.
Yeah, so I took this past couple days off cooking, and Squishy went to the store and got some, just regular shit that people eat when they don't want to cook.
Macaroni and cheese.
Sandwich shit and that type of stuff, whatever. And junk food. So I'm just like, I'm gonna sleep. So after Squishy woke up from her nap, I took me a nap, and now I'm up and supposedly energized, but I don't feel like it.
Oh, well, we'll wake you up with the news of the day.
I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Monkey, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Well, like I say, it was another day of mind-numbing tedium work-wise, but hey, what are you going to do? And other than that, I guess I don't have anything else all that exciting to tell. Although a couple of interesting things happened today for me, but we'll get into that during the course of the show. With that, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button if you have not already. And many of you haven't because, you only love Monkey and you don't like me. That's why. I know that's how it is.
That's how it be sometimes.
And please share our stuff, even if you don't like me as much as others. I'd appreciate it. And so would everybody else. Before the stream, Adabisi, thank you so much. Aquaman isn't a redhead. Satsu isn't worthy.
Well, damn.
Yeah, well, I had to put him somewhere, and that smirk on that one avatar's face just fit that pose too well. So I was just like, I'll put him there.
Also, Scribe didn't make the rules. I mean, he doesn't have to adhere to the fact that only black people can steal the place of redhead characters.
Yeah, and out of all the options in that picture, I mean, I guess I could have put him on Melvin's body, but that didn't seem to work because tailed feature is, makes more sense in that spot. So anyway, that was the decision, if there was a decision. But with that, let's get right into the terrible events of the day. We'll get the bad stuff out of the way first. Because 2 FBI agents from Crimes Against Children unit killed and 3 agents wounded in South Florida shootout. I guess I can, since I have been lately, share that tab. And does that work? Yeah, okay. So 2 FBI agents were fatally shot and 3 agents were wounded in a shootout as they executed a search warrant in Sunrise, Florida on Tuesday morning, the FBI said. The subject of the warrant is dead, the FBI said in a statement. The shooting occurred at about 6 a.m. as a team of law enforcement officers executed the federal court-ordered search warrant as part of a violent crimes against children case, according to a statement from FBI Miami Special Agent Michael D. Leverock and spokesman Jim Marshall. Can I stop this little... Apparently I can't. Okay, it's just an animated GIF that'll just have to sit there. 2 agents with multiple gunshot wounds were taken to the hospital and are in stable condition, officials said. The 3rd injured agent was treated at the scene. FBI Director Christopher Wray identified the deceased agents as Special Agent Daniel Alphen and Special Agent Laura Schwarzenberger. Quote, every day FBI special agents put themselves in harm's way to keep the American people safe. Special Agent Alphen and Special Agent Schwarzenberger exemplified heroism today in defense of their country, he said in a statement. Quote, the FBI will always honor their ultimate sacrifice and will be forever grateful for their bravery. The shooting took place at the Water Terrace apartment complex, an upscale gated community outside Fort Lauderdale at 6:04 a.m., according to Sunrise Police spokeswoman Otisha Browning-Smith. The person who officers were looking for had barricaded himself inside, I assume, she said. The shootout, one of the deadliest in FBI history, brought a major law enforcement response to the area. Video from CNN affiliate WSVN shows an ambulance driving from the scene to the Broward Medical Examiner's office at about 10:30 a.m., escorted by a group of law enforcement officers on motorcycles. Once there, a body on a gurney draped in an American flag was wheeled into the building as a line of officers saluted. The FBI said its inspection division is investigating the shooting. Are they going to tell us about what the guy was done or had done? The name of the suspect will not be released until the next of kin are notified. Then they go into some history of other FBI shootings. So, yeah, that's what I woke up to this morning on the news as I was getting myself woke up on the radio, and that's just, hate that stuff. But it happened.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard about that.
Yeah. But, yeah, not much else to say about it, just terribleness for terribleness' sake, I suppose. Well, moving on to other news, because I think I want to. Jeff Bezos is stepping down as Amazon CEO.
Mm-hmm.
My God, what will he do for money now? Amazon founder Jeff Bezos will step down from his role as chief executive later this year and transition to the role of executive chair, the company said Tuesday. He'll be replaced by Andy Jassy. Okay, so now Andy Jassy will be the center of all ire.
Mm-hmm.
He's the evil one now.
No, because Bezos still has all the money.
Well, that's true, too. Bezos has been Amazon's CEO since its founding in 1995. He oversaw its growth from an online bookseller to a $1.7 trillion global retail and logistics behemoth, which has also made Bezos into one of the world's richest people. Jassy has worked for Amazon since 1997 and currently serves as CEO of the company's cloud business, Amazon Web Services, its biggest profit driver. Quote, this journey began some 27 years ago. Amazon was only an idea and it had no name, Bezos wrote in a letter to employees Tuesday. Quote, the question I was asked most frequently at that time was, what's the internet? Today, we employ 1.3 million talented, dedicated slaves. People serve hundreds of millions of customers and businesses and are widely recognized as one of the most successful companies in the world. Unquote. The news came as part of Amazon's fourth quarter earnings report. The company handily beat Wall Street analysts' projections for both sales and profit, capping a banner year as the pandemic boosted its retail and cloud businesses. Is that really something you want to be proud of? It's like, yay, we're profiting off of worldwide misery. Yay. Well, corporations, I suppose.
Well, I mean, a good portion of that profitability is making things very accessible for those people who are struggling.
Yeah, I'd be proud of it.
Yeah.
The company's shares were essentially flat shortly after the market closed Tuesday, but gained almost 1% 2 hours after the closing bell. Amazon stock has grown nearly 69% over the past year. Let's see. Amazon's posted quarterly net sales of $125.6 billion, up 44% from the same period in the prior year, and well ahead of the $119.7 billion Wall Street analysts had projected. Net income in the quarter hit $7.2 billion, nearly double the $3.7 billion Wall Street predicted, and more than double the $3.3 billion in income the company earned in the year-ago quarter. Earnings per diluted share were $14.09. Thank you, Snubberth. I don't understand the hate considering everyone's cries for lockdown made his company essential.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's one of those like bittersweet kind of thing. Like I wish it wasn't the case that we were all forced into this situation by the various governments, even though it's had, as far as we can tell, net zero effect on actually preventing people from getting sick. and destroying other people's livelihoods.
Well, it's kind of ironic too that a good portion of the money that they were shoveling in was being shoveled in by the same people who complain that they have a lot of money. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't have another option.
I mean, that just goes to show when you provide a service that's basically essential, especially in a time like this or whatever, trying to paint them as 100% villainous might not be the best thing to do.
Well, it's not 100% villainous. It's just more at least to me, it's like the only reason they're successful is because everyone was given zero options otherwise.
Right.
It's not that necessarily everybody's a fan of Amazon or something, but for Amazon and services like it, if everything else is closed down, the mom and the pops and all the local stuff is just restricted from access, you don't have an option. It's not really, I mean, yes, thankfully it was there as an option, but when you're forced to have that option, it doesn't really feel like an option, So.
Yeah,
You can still go to Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was just thinking of the people who have the main complaint about, Amazon being so successful and apparently hoarding so much money. And I'm just like, well, y'all facilitated the situation to exacerbate this issue. So.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. The people in charge who would say the billionaires are evil, but then also tell everybody in their cities or their states they have to shut down. Yeah.
And let's be honest, it's not like Amazon was only selling essential items.
No.
They didn't make billions and billions because people were buying ramen from them.
Yeah.
So
let's see. Next on the list, what do I have here? Oh, Monkey will like this one. This one just popped up a couple minutes ago. Schiff lobbying Newsom to be California's next attorney general. Representative Adam Schiff is quietly lobbying Governor Gavin Newsom and his allies to appoint him California's next attorney general, according to people familiar with the matter. If Newsom selects Schiff chair of the House Intelligence Committee, and if there ever was an oxymoron for that individual, that's one of them, and a confidant of Speaker Nancy Pelosi, House Democrats would lose a powerful party voice in the U.S. House and temporarily give up a seat in their slim 221 to 211 majority. Now, thank you, Sean Uli. Can you shill my GoFundMe that I tagged you in? Yes, but I need to see it. Where did you tag me? Was this? Oh, there it is. No, wait, that was the stream. You're gonna have to try it again, Sean. I don't see it on my Twitter. So zap it at me again. Let's see. Nonetheless, Pelosi has given her approval to Schiff's bid, a clear sign she thinks she can manage without him. According to people familiar with the matter. After a period. Okay. Spokespersons for Schiff and Pelosi declined to comment. The Attorney General's job also would better position Schiff, a high-profile Democrat who led the Russia investigation into then-President Trump, which you would think would be a mark in his disfavor as some kind of legal genius.
it is. That's why he wants out.
To run for Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat should the 87-year-old decide not to run for re-election in 2024.
Wait, hold on. Are we allowed to admit that the Russia investigation even happened anymore?
I don't know. But, I mean, if that's a feather in his cap, it's a pretty dirty feather.
Because I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure the current narrative is that never happened. That Russia investigation thing, they were never questioning the results of the election in any way, shape, or form.
No. Of course not. That wasn't a within Congress insurrection or anything or attempt at it. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for the Dogcat Fox. Happy Dogcat Fox. Thank you. Let's see. The AG's job is being vacated by Javier Becerra, who President Biden has nominated to serve as Secretary of Health and Human Services. While Schiff represents California's Los Angeles-based 28th District, a safe seat for Democrats, it would take roughly 6 months for a special election to select his successor. Anyway, I have no idea why Adam Schiff has any footing to take on a job like that. But of course, the fact that he's been hailed and praised and elevated to some kind of hero status in the Democratic Party for what he did do during the impeachment. I don't have to understand that either, I suppose. So, yes, this is what justice might look like in California pretty quick. A sniveling, paranoid, egotistical failure of a impeachment prosecutor.
Who now has a newly acquired big head.
Oh, newly acquired? No. It's been there a while. But anyway, let's see. What do we have next? Now that I can select from my little hit list here, let's pay a visit to our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Eliza. Should Republicans disband the GOP?
This is another wishful thinking article.
I mean, is that a question you're actually asking, Chris? Or is it sort of like a foregone conclusion as to what this article is going to tell us? And also, should they? Oh, it's a moral question. The dominant storyline in American politics at the moment is the ongoing battle between the establishment wing and the Trump wing of the Republican Party. Is that really the dominant storyline in American politics right now?
No.
We're still talking about Trump. I thought that it was supposed to be about Biden and the coronavirus and the coronavirus relief and on and on.
Is there really a Trump wing of the Republican Party?
Yeah, technically, yeah. There's people who are loyal to Trump and those that aren't. So technically there's a percentage of the party that are the Trump wing, I suppose. The fights over the fates of Trump-aligned Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and establishment Representative Liz Cheney typify the larger struggle for control of the party. 2 fighters enter, 1 fighter leaves, Thunderdome and all that. That's actually 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. But then I suppose you're not a very, big fan of Mad Max. But what if this ugly fight for control of the party isn't the only or best option for the future of the GOP? What if disbanding the current party is the right course of action? Well, what if somebody realized you shouldn't be in your job, Chris? Let's talk about that too. Thank you. This is Kyle. Hello, chat people in Lawton. Hello, Kyle. Quote, instead of trying to hold it together, principled Republicans willing to put country before party need to encourage a split because a united Republican Party, led by Trump or someone like him, is the greatest threat to freedom and democracy that America faces, unquote, wrote Chris Vance, a former chairman of the Washington State Republican Party, in an op-ed in the Seattle Times over the weekend. The greatest threat to freedom and democracy. Really? So a divided Republican Party in the face of a democratically controlled, or at least majority executive and legislative, but they're still the greatest threat, even though they just lost the election. And they're vilified at every turn. And even in their physical attempt to, quote unquote, insurrection the Capitol, they failed utterly. Okay.
It almost sounds like he's saying the very existence of a Republican Party in general is a threat to America's democracy.
Well, I mean,
exactly what he's saying.
Yeah, in the sense that, like, okay, I don't know who this Chris Vance guy is, but I'm assuming then he is not part of the Trump wing. So if he's talking about he wants to, ideological purge of the party, and the only way to do that is just to like split off, splinter group or whatever else. If he's really passionate about that, then I suppose I could agree with him if he wants to, but he's not going to be able to split the GOP. He'd have to start his own party, which he won't, because there's no chance of a third party Republican conservative thing making any ground unless you had literally half the GOP split off, but then you just have a divided conservative movement against a unified Democratic force. So you give up power for decades to come as a result. I don't know what they're asking for. Okay, I got the tweet from Sean. Let me put this up here.
I think that last thing you said might be what they're asking for.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It could be. Let's see. So, guys, I'm going to put this in the chat. Sean needs some help with getting some Dental stuff going there. Apparently, he had to have his teeth pulled, and now needs some dentures. So take a look at that. If you guys have a minute or two to spare, take a look. Appreciate it. Pincala Drive the Gate Man, greatest threat to democracy is the new seize the means of production. Everything is the greatest threat to democracy. You know, Trump is the greatest threat to democracy after 4 years in an election that he lost, and then the power transitioned peacefully, and even in the wake of a riot at the Capitol, everything proceeded as it would. He's the greatest threat to democracy. I mean, our democracy is so fragile. Come on, guys. Vance's argument is that there is simply no point in trying to reconcile the views of the Trump wing with what has traditionally been the mainstream of the GOP, that it is too far afield from what the party has long believed. So give up debate, give up trying to come to terms, give up, actually fighting for it, just give up. Okay, that makes sense. I'm sure that'll be a winning strategy. His suggestion, the 10 House Republicans, including Cheney, who voted to impeach Trump for inciting a riot, should band together with the likes of Senators Mitt Romney, Ben Sasse, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins, and simply, quote, partner with the substantial never-Trump community of Republicans who have already left. Do you really want to lift Trump up even further into the realm of deity here?
Mm-hmm.
Did they, after the Tea Party, did they decide, we should split the party in two and make a Tea Party and make the GOP? They did some really fumbling ways to try to come to terms with that part of the party at that time. I remember there was a couple of remember the town hall meetings, Monkey? Remember those yelling matches against the establishment GOP from the Tea Party?
I don't remember them against the establishment GOP. I remember with the Obamacare nonsense.
Oh yeah, I remember there was a town hall with Chuck Grassley, GOP old guard, and he's there and he's trying to explain his position on healthcare and everything, and all the people who gathered up to see Chuck Grassley yelling him down and all this other stuff, and he tried to placate them, and he changed his mind 3 times in front of them, and yet somehow the GOP, I don't remember the GOP saying they were going to split down the middle because of the Tea Party. Maybe there were talks about it at the time, but it didn't happen. But God, turning Trump into such a, I don't know, he's the center of all things. Vance is well aware of what sort of schism would mean. Of what that sort of schism would mean for the party's political prospects. Quote, splitting your voters leads to defeat, concedes Vance, but at some point, principle must come before a desire to hold on to power, unquote.
Yeah, but your principle is based on something that definitively didn't happen. So you're telling people you need to fall in line and accept the fact that even though this thing never happened, that we're saying it happened, and you need to vilify this particular person on those grounds. It's a moral imperative, whether you look at the situation objectively or not, and you actually know what happened. You need to accept the truth that we've put in front of you, and then just fall in line. And if you don't, then you're part of the evil team. That doesn't sound like a very effective strategy to me, but the fuck do I know?
This proposal, while interesting, is extremely unlikely to happen, you don't say. But Vance's idea does prompt this question. Just how big a tent should the Republican Party have? Just how big a tent should the Republican Party have? And should the likes of Green or her fellow traveler Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert be welcomed under it? Does it sound like that they are welcome right now?
Hey, well, that's some bullshit. Her fellow traveler. The only thing they really have in common is that they're both advocates of carrying their weapon.
Right.
But he's gonna slander her with that shit too.
The point. Political parties are always evolving. Hey, Chris, you want to talk about the schism within the Democratic Party?
No, that doesn't exist anymore.
The squad, the far left wing that's all fine. The Ted Wheeler mentalities, the Rashida Tlaib mentalities, and then Nancy Pelosi and everything else. Do you think that what happened with the DCCC 2 years ago doesn't tell you something about what's going on in the Democratic Party, where the leadership of the DCCC was bad because the lady in charge was white? No other complaint, nothing else, that her assistant was white, even though she's a military veteran, had done nothing wrong, but she's just the wrong color. You going to take a look at that at all, Chris? No, of course not. Why would you? No. Sorry. That's not to give cover to the Republicans. They got their own battles to fight, but this is not unique to them. It's not like the Democratic Party is some shining light on a hill or something.
And as was asked in the chat, would he be making the same argument about the Democrats if the opportunity presented itself?
Yeah.
Or would he be saying, well, the very concept of that is absolutely ridiculous, especially if you plan on winning elections ever again?
Yeah.
Whatevs.
Let's see. And let's see, one or two more before we go on. I made a terrible error in judgment. Soul Cycle celebrity instructor Stacy Griffith apologizes after intense backlash for receiving the COVID vaccine in New York City as a, quote, teacher, unquote. Stop with the videos. Stop it.
What?
A celebrity Soul Cycle instructor is apologizing after she sparked outrage for securing one of the coveted New York City COVID vaccines. Stacy Griffith, 52, who has trained Kelly Ripa, Demi Lovato, and Brooke Shields and worked with Oprah Winfrey, posted on Friday an Instagram photo of her being vaccinated. She said she took no shortcuts to secure the appointment and was eligible as a quote-unquote teacher. Now she's apologizing to her fans and everyone else for receiving a COVID vaccine after coming under intense criticism. Quote, I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart for my recent action in receiving the vaccine, she wrote on Instagram. Quote,
Wait.
I made a terrible error in judgment, and for that, I am truly sorry.
Can you, just for comedic effect, could you read that apology again?
I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart for my recent action in receiving the vaccine. I made a terrible error in judgment, and for that, I am truly sorry.
Just out of context to some fucking foreign entity, just read that statement. And just like, I'm gonna say these words to you, and you let me know what you think. It just sounds utterly ridiculous, but all right.
The post went up early on Monday afternoon, but it appears comments are disabled on that post, as well as Griffith's other recent posts. This is the first post on her Instagram since mid-December, as she recently deleted the post from Friday with a photo of her being vaccinated. Quote, Vaccine Day, step one of the Moderna magic, she wrote. 1 hour drive to Staten Island, worth every minute. It takes a village. The Instagram post to her 64,000 followers was deleted, but within moments, a backlash erupted. The governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, and Mayor Bill de Blasio have both complained repeatedly about the scarcity of the vaccine, begging the federal government to send more. Quote, my wife is a stage 4 cancer patient who has to deal with the fear and risk of going into a hospital cancer center weekly while immunosuppressed during COVID in order to receive the treatment that is keeping her alive, wrote Gabrielle Novosek, a Chicago-based consultant, commented. Quote, she is at least 2 to 3 months out from being eligible for a vaccine. As the caretaker she depends on to provide her with support, I'm at least 4 to 5 months out. But yes, let's celebrate that we are making the world safe for in-person spin class in the midst of a global pandemic. What's left of any respect I had for Seoul and the leaders it celebrates is done and gone. And all the pictures of her with her, I guess, celebrity clients. Griffith, who according to Vox earns $800 a class, told the Daily Beast that her role as an educator made her eligible. Having me vaccinated can stop the short spread within groups, she said via text. I function as a common point for many overlapping people. In my profession of health and wellness as a teacher, it's my priority daily to keep my community and their respiratory systems operating at full capacity so they can beat this virus if they are infected by it. I can only teach them if I am healthy myself.
Hey, bitch.
Soul Cycle's indoor classes have been replaced by outdoor sessions during the pandemic. Griffith added that she, quote, had the same opportunity everyone else has by going online and filling out a questionnaire, and insisted that she pulled, quote, no favors. I paid no money to anyone. Quote, all teachers are eligible to apply for the vaccine. My post today was to show my confidence in the system, in our government, and I hope everyone can at least feel more at ease knowing I went through the process, she added. Asked if Soul Cycle instructors would be eligible for the vaccine, she told the site, absolutely not.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait, what?
A SoulCycle spokesperson told DailyMail.com, quote, Stacey Griffith operated in a personal capacity in applying for a New York State COVID vaccine. SoulCycle plays no role in organizing or obtaining vaccinations for instructors or other employees, nor do we encourage any of our SoulCycle employees to seek vaccine priority as educators. Let's see. Quote, this is sickening. She basically stole a COVID vaccine dose away from a much more vulnerable person or an actual in-person teacher of children, said one person on Twitter. There needs to be a serious fine or public service payback. How about driving the elderly to get their shot for line jumpers? Another said, there should be no group classes in New York City at the moment. SoulCycle should fire her for impersonating a school teacher. New York City is currently in what is termed Phase 1B of the vaccination rollout. Healthcare workers, residents over 65, grocery store workers, and certain types of teachers are eligible for vaccination. Those who teach K through 12, in-person college instructors, and group childcare providers are entitled to the vaccine. Quote, generally speaking, it's difficult for us to comment on individuals due to confidentiality, said a spokesperson for the New York City Department of Health. Yeah, so that's the long and the short. Yeah, what a dummy.
I'm pretty sure she knew what they meant when they said teachers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she knew, but she's like elevated, like, I got the shot. Look at me, everybody. Now I'm all set for you guys to come and pay me more money so I can teach you how to use a bicycle.
Yeah, and this thing that probably shouldn't be happening considering the pandemic.
Thank you, Snowbirth. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if she's getting chemo, isn't the vaccine dangerous? Well, she was talking about getting the vaccination for herself, the caretaker, so that she didn't risk, or she reduced the risk of actually passing it on to someone who was vulnerable.
No. I think he's talking about the person who said that their wife was.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I was talking about. The caretaker, I think, was talking about her, wasn't she?
No, because she said my wife has cancer and she's on a waiting list.
My wife is a stage 4 cancer patient who has to deal with the fear and risk of going into a hospital cancer center weekly while immunosuppressed during COVID-19 in order to receive the treatment that is keeping her alive. She is at least 2 to 3 months out from being eligible for a vaccine. As the caretaker she depends on to provide her with support, I'm at least 4 to 5 months out. Okay, well, we're both right. She was talking about herself and the lady. I apologize.
Yeah, she was speaking on behalf of both of them, it sounded like.
All right. Well, anyway, but this lady is an absolute dip. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator.
Yeah, I mean, it feels. I'm still kind of baffled by the fact that somebody has to apologize for. I don't know, taking measures to make sure that they're okay.
Well, but she deceived the process.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was about to say. But it was like, what they meant when they said teachers. Yeah. It wasn't talking about your ass. So.
Yeah, when she filled out the questionnaire or whatever else. Yeah.
But that does make me wonder how many other people.
Lots.
I
mean, just those couple of stories from Oregon or Washington or something, where those 2 hospitals were like sending out VIP invites for vaccinations to donors. You know that shit's going on elsewhere that just hasn't been caught yet in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, this is. But yeah, she's going to be the poster girl for this whole thing now. Yeah. That's her fault. But with that, we're going to move on to the wonderful world of MSS News. So, guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise to get to them all, but that's just because I'm long-winded. As I've said, I don't know how many times I've said that now. Hundreds?
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot. Let's see. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Female soldiers will now be allowed to wear lipstick, nail polish, and locks. I think we already read this, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is from January 28th. Okay. Yeah, we covered this story before. Sorry about that, Massive. And I am on the latest tab, just for reference. Let's see. And today's show is not brought to you by The Good Stuff. While most red wines primarily use oak in the winemaking, intrinsic wine experiments with concrete.
Okay.
I'm not making that up. That is the first line of the ad. Rather than using oak, they use concrete.
Hi.
Experiments with okay. That's all I'm going to read of that.
Thank you for not sponsoring us.
Yeah.
Concrete.
People who would age your wine in a concrete block. All right. Let's see. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Report: Crestview man found with heroin tells deputies it's a chocolate laxative.
I don't think you're using it right.
I can't say I've heard that one before. A Crestview man is arrested after deputies say they found him in possession of drugs and paraphernalia during a traffic stop on Saturday. Stephen Coplin, 29, is charged with trafficking heroin, possession of oxycodone, possession of drug paraphernalia, and a traffic violation. According to an arrest report from the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, deputies stopped Coplin on Hurlburt Road near Fort Walton Beach, when a deputy noticed he had an expired car registration. After OCSO K9 Burt alerted on Coplin's truck, deputies say they found the heroin under the seat, more heroin on the passenger floorboard, oxycodone in a plastic bag with methamphetamine residue, a scale, and assorted drug paraphernalia consistent with use and distribution. Coplin told deputies the heroin was a, quote, chocolate laxative, unquote, and he believed the pills to be fake, the report said. Coplin was arrested and booked into the Okaloosa County Jail.
He thought the pills were fake, but he had them anyway?
Yeah, and the that's laxative. Oh yeah, it'll relax you all sorts of kinds of ways.
I have a feeling he thinks the deputies were as stupid as he is.
Probably. Let's see. That's going to be a story I can't read because the Washington Post will block me. So sorry, Grant. Okay, what's this? Okay, interesting. This one comes from Jedi Ghost Bear, since we're talking about lockdowns earlier. Phase 2 of reopening Washington splits restaurants along Snoqualmie Pass. Okay, the summit at Snoqualmie straddles two counties, meaning they could not reopen indoor dining to they could reopen indoor dining to 25% capacity, but nearby restaurants cannot. So because it's a ski resort, they have more open options. Okay. It was a quiet, rainy Monday on the summit at Snoqualmie as 7 Washington counties entered phase 2 of reopening. The summit is in a unique position as it straddles 2 counties in separate regions. King and Catatis? I don't know what those are. King advanced to phase 2, while Catatis remains at phase 1. Phase 2 restaurants can reopen for indoor dining at 25% capacity, while phase 1 restaurants must rely on outdoor dining and takeout. Outdoor dining at the top of a mountain. Yeah, I'm sure that's really popular. The summit, which adapted to outdoor dining this ski season, I guess, now qualifies for phase 2. The summit's general manager said the new outdoor dining model is going well enough that they aren't jumping back into indoor dining yet, though they are considering it. The Commonwealth is among a handful of restaurants on I-90 just north of the summit, meaning it remains in phase 1 in Catatis County. Okay, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. For many in the restaurant industry, success is no longer measured in profit, but the ability to stay open. Yeah, no kidding. All right.
That's kind of what the profit thing's always been anyway. So
yeah, and restaurants are always kind of a gamble to begin with. Oh no. All right. This one comes from Frosted Glass. If you can believe it, it's from Medium. Black Lives Matter dogs make it to Dogs of 2020.
what does that mean?
I have absolutely no idea. Why dogs seeing black people regularly makes a difference.
Okay.
I think I just became dumber by reading that headline.
Oh boy.
We'll see how much of this I can get through. If you don't love dogs, you probably won't understand the significance of the pup appearances in the We Rate Dogs of 2020 video that just released. We Rate Dogs. Okay. If you do, you'll immediately recognize something while watching. In the first of a few appearances with dogs, there's a dog owner who pokes an arm out of the window. The sign in that dog owner's arm says, quote, "This pup barks for change," unquote, with a red heart on the side.
Okay.
You know when you see like people exploiting children to promote their political views and things.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nasty. Using your dog to do it just kind of dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, kids at least have some kind of, I don't know, mental capability to understand human concepts.
Yeah. Dog's just sitting there going, "I look happy because I'm a dog." Well,
this is basically my cat is vegan,
Yeah, exactly right. One critic of the video said this in response, quote, "Saw a TikTok of a protest and a white woman was at her window with her dog holding a sign saying, 'This pup barks for change,' and that pup did not bark, not one time, and also tried to dip from the window like, 'Mama, you know we don't mean this,' unquote."
Okay, hold on. Now, the person in the car with the window or whatever, that type of behavior is stupid. Translating that behavior into some oppressive shit is beyond levels of stupid that I'm ready to accept right now. So,
just wait one moment while I read the next paragraph. Back to the author. Okay, so let me read that. This is the comment from the TikTok critic again. Let me read that one right. Saw a TikTok of a protest and a white woman was at her window with her dog holding a sign saying, "This pup barks for change," and that pup did not bark, not one time, and also tried to dip from the window like, "Mama, you know we don't mean this," unquote. Here's why that statement is wrong. I watched that video before I saw the tweet. As a prior dog owner and current dog walker, the fact that the dog did not immediately start barking and growling while seeing that many black people all strolling past his or her house is a good sign. Pet socialization in the early years is extremely important. When puppies, or adult dogs, start to affiliate certain physical traits or a gender with danger, it increases the odds that they'll become aggressive. So that dog wasn't racist, is what you're saying.
Am I the only one who's listening to this thinking that TikTok thing was a joke? I saw this thing. You could see that dog was thinking that, and the person that said that was just, kidding.
Oh, this lady's the dog whisperer. She knows that dog knows that. Oh, well, there's a person. Do dogs see color?
Are dogs colorblind? I don't know.
I thought they were. In social isolation, it is much harder to be out and about with your dog seeing a diverse group of people. While there are plenty of tips to help owners safely socialize their pets during social isolation, even something as simple as going to a dog park can become a task for those who don't follow COVID-19 prevention safety guidelines. It's easier to just stay at home and only hang out with the people who usually come in and out of your house. Most people do that anyway. If your social circle is diverse, you're already a step in the right direction for socialization of your dog.
But that doesn't make any sense.
No, if it's not, you may have some problems on your hands once COVID-19 vaccines are regularly dispersed to the public and you step anywhere outside of your usual walking routes.
Yeah. Chances are, if you're no matter how socially diverse you are, if whatever color you tend to be in your own home, people are going to look that way, most likely.
And I mean, I'm no dog expert, but I've been around a lot of animals in my life, and they'll bark at anything they don't find familiar, period. Regardless of what their color is. I mean, you can have a well-trained dog, sure, like a service dog or something else that is very calm and everything else. But usually if the dog smells something they don't recognize or sees a shape they do not recognize, they get agitated or curious, or one of the two. It's thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for the drooling emoji. Yes, that's kind of where my brain's at. And I'm just about to stop reading this because it's moronic.
Man, these fucking people.
Okay, moving on to something else. Oh, let's see. Who's next? I already read one from you. Oh yes, let's go over. I was right in my prediction regarding Groundhog Day, by the way. Groundhog Day 2021, Puxatawny Phil predicts winter will hang on. You'll want to burrow away after reading this. Puxatawny Phil predicted 6 more weeks of winter on Tuesday during the annual Groundhog Day ceremony in Pennsylvania. As a light snow fell just around dawn, members of the Puxatawny Groundhog Club made their way to the famous forecaster's stump without the usual crowd of thousands because of the coronavirus pandemic. Quote, "You look beautiful today," club president Jeff Lundy whispered to the rodent, placing him on top of the stump to make his prognostication by pointing to one of 2 scrolls just before 7:30 a.m. Thank you, Poker Pierce. Great art, Scribe. Also, nice belly buttons, Satsu.
Thanks.
What?
Are we still trying to go with the belly button thing?
They're still trying to make that a thing.
I must have missed that. What is that?
Just
Is it a 7 Days to Die joke?
no, it's my avatar. Like,
okay. Let's see. The furry soothsayer saw the shadow scroll, meaning Old Man Winter will be sticking around for 6 more weeks. Quote, "We have passed the darkness of night, but now see hope and morning's bright light. But now when I turn to see there's a perfect shadow cast of me, 6 more weeks of winter there will be." Club Vice President Tom Dunkel read from the chosen scroll. Lundy, however, issued a message of hope as the country nears the 1-year anniversary of the beginning of the coronavirus crisis. Quote, "I want to tell you, Phil has also told us after winter, you're looking forward to one of the most beautiful and brightest springs you've ever seen," Lundy said.
I get that you're being cute, but I have trouble taking seriously people who talk to animals.
Yeah, especially after that dog article. Okay, well, but yeah. Puxatawny Phil. Let's see, who's next? Where did one from you? Okay, let's try this one from the original Shroom. What's this one here? If it'll come up. It's thinking about it. It's debating if I can read this article, even though it's from CNN. Anytime now. Okay. House approves new fines for members who don't complete security screening before entering floor. Oh, is this back to that to Boebert or whatever?
Uh-huh.
The House of Representatives has officially created a new rule that will fine any member for failing to complete security screening prior to entering the House floor. With the passing of this rule Tuesday evening, members who fail to comply with security screenings will be fined $5,000 for the first offense and $10,000 for a second offense. These fines would be deducted directly from members' salaries by the chief administrative officer. Thank you, Lady Gopher. Dogs see blue, yellow, and some shades of gray. Thank you, Lady Gopher. I figured I recall that there was a limitation to dogs' sight, even though their sense of smell is amazing. But yeah, so anyway, when metal detectors were installed outside of the House floor January 12th for all members and staffers to walk through, many lawmakers aired their frustrations. Republican Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado, who filmed a campaign advertisement vowing to carry her handgun around Capitol Hill prior to arriving in Washington, was also involved in a standoff with Capitol Police. Standoff? Is that what happened?
Such a fucking ridiculous way to put that.
Was also involved in a standoff with Capitol Police while trying to get on the floor when the metal detectors were newly installed. Okay, the thing we read earlier about the FBI guys getting shot, that was a standoff. As far as the parlance goes, that's like guy barricaded himself in the house and guns were drawn. Is that what happened in the Capitol, CNN? Who wrote this? Annie Grayer and Kristen Wilson. 2 authors to write this. A standoff. Okay, thank you, Poker Pierce. Bring back dueling. Oh, well.
I think it's time to accept that, words just don't mean anything anymore.
Oh, my God. Republican Representative Andy Harris of Maryland tried to take a concealed firearm on the House floor. Well, did he have a concealed carry permit? Anyway, on Tuesday evening, lawmakers appeared compliant with the new security measures. Well, I mean, why wouldn't they be? And went through the went through the metal detectors before entering the House floor. The vote was 216 to 210 in favor of the new rule. Representative Jim McGovern, a Massachusetts Democrat who's chairman of the Rules Committee, said on the House floor Tuesday why it was important for members to abide by the metal detectors. Quote, "These metal detectors are manned by the same police officers who saved our lives during the insurrection while risking their own," McGovern said. "Some members on the other side have disrespected these Capitol Police officers, verbally abused them, pushed them aside, and disregarded their orders, all to avoid this basic safety measure. That is no way to treat our heroes." Where was the National Guard put again during the inauguration?
I love that they've suddenly decided that police are heroes.
Yeah. After they've been villains for the last year and a half plus,
That's all it takes is a narrative shift, dude.
Heroes.
Thank you, Selecta Boy, for the donation. No comment. Thank you so much. Let's see. Representative Tom Cole of Oklahoma, the top Republican on the Rules Committee, argued against the new measure on the House floor Tuesday. Quote, "Requiring members to pass through a metal detector each time they enter the House chamber, even if they haven't left the area, is a sure recipe for chaos," he said. "It's impossible for members to socially distance when they are stacked up in a line to await their turn and passing through the metal detectors. That is a clear recipe for disorganization and gridlock." The fine also attempts to address the growing concerns from members who feel unsafe at the Capitol in the wake of the violent insurrection, and those who since the attack have wanted to beef up their security due to fear of other members. I wonder who we might be referring to there. AOC versus Ted Cruz. What a bunch of children. I tell you what. Moving on. Let's see. We'll do a couple more here. This one comes from Algorithm Akbar. Okay. And will this one be allowed to be seen? Okay. FAA to oversee investigation of SpaceX Mars rocket prototype's explosive landing. Is that really a landing at that point? You see the video of that today?
No.
It was another test of the, takeoff and landing spaceship, basically, where it could take off on its own and land on its own. And it was the landing part where it exploded. Let's see. SpaceX's Starship prototype, the SN9, exploded on landing during a test flight. It is the second test in a row for SpaceX that's ended in a fiery crash. And these are the things they want to eventually put people onto to travel them across the planet and land somewhere else. Thank you, Dark Resurrect. Have you all seen House Resolution 127? If so, what are your thoughts on it? If not, I'll send it over Twitter if you want. I don't know what that refers to.
I'm not sure what it is.
So, sure, send it over. The Federal Aviation Administration said it will oversee an investigation into a crash landing of a SpaceX prototype rocket on Tuesday. The announcement comes after the FAA forced SpaceX to delay the launch as it investigated a previous explosion of a similar rocket prototype. Well, I guess they didn't delay it long enough because it happened again. The destroyed vehicle, SpaceX's Starship SN9, was an early prototype for a rocket the company hopes will carry the first humans to Mars. The other plan was, at one point, there was an idea to have these same vehicles or things like them where they can vertical takeoff and landing kind of rockets would be the next sort of like jetliner. So you can rocket yourself from New York to Paris in like 3 hours or something. But this was the Mars project, apparently. Launched in a high-altitude test flight Tuesday, the vehicle traveled a few miles up in the air, hovered for a moment, and then conducted a belly flop-like maneuver on descent before making an explosive landing back on the launch pad. When asked how the investigation would be carried out, the spokesperson for the FAA said, quote, "We have nothing further to add tonight." Okay. But public FAA documents say that when a rocket mishap occurs, the FAA's Office of Commercial Space Transportation, quote, may elect to conduct the investigation or authorize the launch operator to conduct the investigation under FAA supervision. Okay. Thank you again, Poker Pierce. SR9 was a test. What's the point? That's the point. Well, yeah, but 2 in a row? It doesn't, if they didn't solve the problem after the first one, what happened with this one? And I mean, it's a private company, so they're just, God knows how many millions and millions of dollars just got blown up today. But it doesn't build a whole lot of confidence in the product. But time will tell, I guess. I mean, everything has its got to hammer out the wrinkles. Mr. Tickletrunk, thanks so much. SpaceX is testing prototype propulsion engines and not landing. Landing isn't a concern yet, as it's all about data while testing. I hate the news. Well, they were trying to land it, so that was part of the test. So, and if the intention is to eventually put people on these things, whether it's for Mars flight or just intercontinental, they have to know everything about it if they're going to certify it for some kind of human use. I'm still, generally speaking, if you're going to sit on top of a giant bomb, effectively, which is what a rocket engine is, there's always the risk that it's going to blow up. All the Mercury 7 guys knew that. It's not something you take on lightly. So the abundance of caution I can understand, but they've already shown that they've had plenty of tests of other vertical takeoff and landing rockets before that successfully did it. They showed that one that landed off in that platform that was off in the ocean or whatever. So they have successfully done something like it before, but this particular model keeps blowing up. So anyway, who's next? And I think, is that one from yesterday? No, okay. We'll do this last one here from Evolved Potato. If I can get this up here. Okay. Oh, is this an article? No, it's a survey. What is this? Data for Progress from moveon.org. Oh, okay. Okay, from January 29th to February 1st, 2021, Data for Progress and MoveOn conducted a survey of 752 likely voters in Texas. 752. How many people inhabit Texas?
A lot.
Okay, 750 likely voters in Texas using web panel respondents. This sounds reliable. The sample was weighted to be representative of likely voters by age, gender, education, race, and voting history. The survey was conducted in English. You're really not giving me a whole lot of confidence in your results here, whatever they are, for whatever it is. The margin of error is 3.6 percentage points, plus or minus. Okay, number one, do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of the following people? Ted Cruz. That's the only person on the list, apparently. That's of the following people. Sorry. No, they have. Oh, sorry. I take it back. They've got different sections for different individuals. Okay, so Ted Cruz, very favorable. The overall is 24%. Very unfavorable, 32%. And then they split those up by Democrat, Independent, Republican, female, male, under 45, 45 plus, no college, Black or African American, Hispanic or Latino, white, not Christian, Christian, not evangelical, and then evangelical. Okay. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of the following people? Beto O'Rourke. Very favorable, 16%. Very unfavorable, 33%.
Oh.
What's the total favorability though? Because they're only doing the extremes.
Well, no, they've got the ones in the middle. I'm just listing off the two. So very favorable for Beto. It's very favorable, 16%. Somewhat favorable, 17%. Somewhat unfavorable, 13%. Very unfavorable, 33%. Haven't heard enough to say, 21%. And that's just sorry. Oh, I'm I'm sorry, I said percentages. These are the total number of people who said it out of the 752. They're not giving us percentages.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry. So out of I misspoke. Thank you, Poker Pierce. At least it was a test, unlike NASA. Too soon.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So sorry. So Ted Cruz, out of 752 people, 24 found him very favorable. 25 found him somewhat favorable. And then 9 hadn't heard enough. 32 found him very unfavorable, and 10 found him somewhat unfavorable. Okay, is this really what are you supposed to glean from this? That I don't even know what percentage 24 people out of 752 is. That's the favorable percentage for Ted Cruz for the entire state of Texas based on 752 web panel interviewers or interviewees. Okay, so we have Ted Cruz, Beto O'Rourke, Donald Trump. Very favorable, 30 out of 752. Very unfavorable, 42 out of 752. Somewhat favorable, 18. So 48 are in the good column, per se. So kind of amazingly enough, it's relatively split down the middle for Donald Trump, if you can believe it. Joe Biden. Out of 752, 32 found him favorable, very favorable. 16 somewhat favorable. Very unfavorable, 36. Somewhat unfavorable, 13. So effectively split down the middle as well. And then this goes on for a long time with a bunch of other questions and things. If you guys are curious about what else is asked on this survey and what the results were, given the parameters of its creation, I don't think it necessarily represents anything in particular, or could be called to represent such, except those 752 people out of however many millions are in Texas. But if that's what they want us to believe, then surprisingly enough, Beto O'Rourke's not popular. Ted Cruz is a divisive character. Donald Trump and Joe Biden are both divisive characters, if you can believe it.
You got a request in the chat to read the last 5 questions.
The last 5? Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Would you support or oppose preventing former President Donald Trump from holding elected office in the future for the role he played in trying to overturn the results of the presidential election and for helping to incite violence in the storming of the U.S. Capitol building?
That's not a loaded question at all.
No. Next, if Senator Cruz votes to acquit Trump for his role in inciting the January 6th riot that led to the storming of the Capitol building and the death of a police officer during the Senate trial, would you support or oppose replacing Ted Cruz as your senator?
Are you serious?
In coordination with other Republicans, Senator Ted Cruz helped to incite a riot that led to an assault on the United States Capitol, during which at least 5 people died, including both protesters and police. Knowing this, would you support or oppose replacing Senator Cruz with someone else?
Come on.
Senator Ted Cruz allied with white nationalists who attacked the Capitol Police, resulting in the death of an officer. Knowing this, would you support or oppose replacing Senator Cruz with someone else?
The Cuban was hooked up with those white nationalists, was he?
And lastly, do you think Senator Ted Cruz should resign? And that question amongst the 752, wait a second.
Holy fuck.
They list 51, 49, and nothing in between. Senator Cruz should resign immediately, 51. Senator Cruz should not resign, 49. The number below both those two numbers is 752. You're missing a few numbers there. What? That's bizarre. Thank you for College Driving 8 Man. Remember, kids, this is to prevent fascism. Yeah, well, like I said, if the parameters of the survey weren't sketchy enough, those last several questions certainly.
Yeah, let us pre-frame exactly how you should be looking at the situation, and then force you to answer a question based on what we just told you you're supposed to think. That's not fishy at all.
Anyway, thank you guys for all the stories. Sorry to get to them all. We got to plenty, I think. Let's see. Oh, Dark Resurrect sent us the firearm licensing and registration. Oh yeah, we talked about that the other day, didn't we?
I think we did talk about something.
Yeah.
Briefly during Humpetry. That was one of my Humpetries.
Yeah, that's right. We did talk about that a little bit. I haven't had a chance to read it or anything. But then I'm not a gun person, so I'm not directly affected by it per se. But I'd be surprised if they got it through. I'm pretty sure that'd be something that the filibuster would apply to, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. And I'd be surprised if they got a whole bunch of Republicans on that one to go the other side for it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for the stories. We'll get on to YouTube time. I didn't do much today. I had work and a bunch of other stuff. I did get the theme ready for Friday's show, thumbnail and everything. And I've been working on some graphic stuff for the interview that I am scheduled to do on Saturday with Danny Oliver, who is doing a steampunk fantasy comic book series that has a Kickstarter going right now. He's affiliated with Rem Alternus. That's the company that did the Cyberpunk TV show trailer, who's, I don't know what her title is, I guess president or the head of the group anyway. Sarah interviewed her a couple of times over 2019 to 2020 regarding her production of that. So anyway, that is supposed to happen on Saturday. I don't have a time locked down yet for Saturday. As soon as I do, I will let you guys know, and I will pre-schedule it and everything. If you're curious about that, this will be, as far as I recall, the second comic book creator that I will have interviewed. The first being Jim Healis previously, and I'm not a big steampunk fan, but I don't hate the genre per se. But I am curious to find out. I've done a little research on he's the writer of the comic. Artist is someone else, but I've done a little research on him, and he's led a very interesting life thus far. And we'll talk about that on the interview when the time comes. So I'll let you guys know when that happens. Thank you, Becca Fairley. Cruises district is 723,750 people, and Texas population is 29 million. Yes, 752 people in an online poll with weighted questions that turned Senator Cruz into the latest mini Hitler that we all have to fear. Yeah. Thank you, Becca. So YouTube stuff. Satsu, what do you got going on?
A lot of stuff. I am working on a batch of cooking videos over on my cooking channel, and if all goes well, I'll have 4 of those done on Friday, and I can be putting those out over the next couple weeks. Satsuhime's Grand Adventure still in play, and I've been doing that. Twitch streams are still going strong. I'm actually planning on doing a solo Stardew series soon that I'll be streaming. Maybe not on a consistent schedule, but whenever I can, because I actually want to play where I focus on interacting with the other people. Because thus far, playing by myself or playing online, I have yet to even attempt to associate with any of the fucking people in this game, because I just don't care. But I'm starting to get an interest now, because I'm seeing that there are like actual cutscenes and full-blown events and stuff that take place, different items and stuff that you literally can't get unless you talk to different people. So I want to do a series that focuses on that specifically, where it's like, it's time to look for love. Let's see who we can marry this time around. So that'll be fun. It'll give me a focus in that game, something to kind of shoot for. Otherwise, there are a bunch of games that have either been bought for me or that I have bought that are in my queue that I've been planning to play for quite some time, that I think it's time for me to start playing. So be anticipating a lot of that stuff coming in the near future. I'm also planning cooking streams in the near future also, once this HelloFresh thing is done. So be on the lookout for that. I got a lot of stuff going on, man. Probably way too much, but trying to keep busy.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Thursday I plan on doing a TEDx, and in fact, I'm going to try, as a little change of pace, to just make Thursday TEDx Day from now on, so that don't have to start, guessing on what day I'll be doing it, because I figured Thursday has a T in the name, so Thursday will be TEDx Day. So unless otherwise announced. Look forward to Thursday at noon being TEDx day every week from now on. And that also gives me time to let the TEDx's build up and get plenty of options, and they don't stop coming. So there you go. Monkey, what do you got going on? Oh, sorry, real quick. Thank you, Andrew Joyner, for the tactical hippo. Appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry, Monkey.
Oh, it's fine. Did a monkey in the morning where Irate Alex joined me for quite a while. Most of the show, actually. And it was a good time talking with him. And then today when I woke up, I did another episode of the Stardew Valley solo stream that I've been doing, and I'll be doing that again as soon as we're done here. That's all.
Cool. Let's see. A couple things I want to do here. First, do a little shilling for other people. First off, again, putting the link in the chat to Sean Uli's fundraiser. He needs to get some dentures because he had to have his teeth removed, which is terrible. But if you guys can help out with that, it's not a whole lot he's looking for there to get it squared away. So that'd be appreciated. Also, if I can find it here real quick, because it was here a minute ago. Where'd it go? A friend of mine on Twitter and in the wonderful world of YouTube, Foxy, is starting up a true crime channel. She's been working on her first video for a couple of months now. And I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but she was talking to me about it because she and I both like true crime stuff. And she wasn't sure what the subject of her first video should be. So I found something totally obscure, or at least relatively obscure to me. I'd never heard of it before, but it was a crazy story. And she has gone absolutely to the mat to research this case, to the point, and I'm not kidding, you'll find out, but to the point of obtaining copies of the killer's personal diary from the prosecutor's office several states away from where she's at. Okay. She's done so much work on this, and I'm really looking forward to the video. She's only now starting to get the recording done and all that stuff. It's going to be quite the production for a first-time true crime documentarian. So I'm putting a link to her channel in the description, in the chat. So if you like true crime and you like seeing new talent in that area, go check out her channel. Again, nothing there yet. She's getting ready to create the vid. Once she does, it'll drop. And I'll tell you what, if the amount of work and research that she's done on this particular case is just I'm impressed as all heck. And so it's been a labor of love, and I'm looking forward to it when it finally comes out. So go take a look. It's called Foxy's Crime Scenes, and hopefully that'll get squared away too. Also, she's got a Twitter account. It's just at the Wary Fox, all undercase, lowercase. Let's see. So aside from that, shilling, fucketry. Now I have a little bit of. I'll start off because this isn't fucketry. This first one's not fucketry. This is a little thing to brag about, I guess, because I was alerted today that I appeared on another website. That is Twitchy. And it's up on the screen now. CNN's Brian Stelter explains that when he suggested reducing the reach of Fox News at all, he didn't mean conservative voices per se. And if you don't know, a couple of days ago, Brian Stelter, CNN's resident goblin, he said that people who lie in the media or something should have their reach reduced or censored or something. But since he got so much backlash for that, he was like, well, I wasn't talking specifically about conservative voices.
Yeah, okay.
And, so Twitchy, which kind of just does little summaries of stories and then shows off people's tweets and other commentary. Well, down near the bottom of the show, where'd it go? Oh, don't tell me they removed. Oh, there it is. So because when that little tweet from Brian Stelter went out, he says, I was talking about harm reduction, so reducing the reach of harmful lies, not of conservative voices per se. And here I am in all my glory. asking, because this would be the second time that I posed this question to Brian. So again, how much of CNN's reach should be curtailed the next time they broadcast a harmful falsehood? And I'm specifically thinking of like, I mean, the one that comes to mind is like the Nicholas Sandman stuff and the Covington kids and all that. Yeah. So, how much in that example, Brian Stelter, if that were to happen today, how much of CNN's reach should be censored or limited as a result of that? Because if it's not just conservative voices per se, well, then you can tell me the metric on which we're supposed to measure the limitation of reach based on falsehood. So
there's another one in there that says something to the effect of, what's the dollar amount you would put on that, Brian?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's see who. I'm sorry, I forgot all of a sudden who told me that was there because I had no idea it was there. And make sure I give that person credit because my name is blanking. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, for crying out loud! I will find it in a moment here. Oh, there we go. Atheist Icon. Yeah, that's what it was because you just put a tweet up that said you made Twitchy, and I was like, I did what? I'm like, well, you appeared in like, oh, I had no idea. So yeah, yay! I'm briefly kind of somewhere else. That was kind of fun. Other than that, do I have any other circuitry of note? I don't know that I do, but let's see real quick. Oh yeah, Hal Holbrook passed away. Yeah, if you don't guys know, Hal Holbrook is actor forever, and he's he was married to one of the ladies on Designing Women, I remember. And but he's most well known for his one-man show as Mark Twain that he's been doing for decades. Yeah, really great actor. As far as I know, a very gentle man, and he died at 95. I just keep having celebrities dropping between Screech yesterday or whatever, and now Hal Holbrook, and there was somebody else that I know I saw. Oh well, or Captain Sir Tom Moore in Britain, who had helped raise like over $1 million for COVID relief or stuff like that. I think it was. He passed away, unfortunately, from complications from COVID, says the news. But yeah. And other than that, I think that's all the amazing stuff. Oh yeah, that was yesterday with the paper saying that diversity executives don't change outcomes. That was yesterday's fucketry. So, Satsu, you got anything?
Let me see. I got a feeling Monkey's probably going to talk about this one, and I don't know enough about it. But I did see the no Republicans was trending.
Yep.
On Twitter. So yeah, I just went through and I was peeking at the at all the comments, and they were about what I expected. But I saw a Monkey comment on it directly, so I'm like, hey, he'll probably dive more into that. People were responding interestingly to the Jeff Bezos thing over on Facebook. I don't know. It seemed like people didn't know whether to celebrate or to like, I don't know. Like people were like infighting about it, and it was kind of interesting because people were like, yeah, fuck that dude, and they're like, he still works there. Like he's not really going anywhere. That money still basically going in his pocket. They're like, yeah, but it's still good because a different white rich person is going to be in there. And I'm like, so is this like the Biden effect? It's like all white males in power are horrible. Different white male in power? Definitely. I'm all for it. It's like, God damn it. Y'all can't even keep y'all narrative straight. But that was kind of fun to watch because, you know, they have kind of run out of their central enemy, like Trump, even though the media is really trying to convince them that he's still relevant and they should absolutely care about him. Most people don't now. So they're just kind of running into each other, trying to find enemies now. So that's always a fun thing to experience over on both Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, need new dragons to slay.
Yeah, it's a. They're like, well, you're not quite a dragon. You're more of a bearded dragon. But I mean, it still count. You're still a lizard, right? Fuck you. Let me see. What else was there? There was something else specific that I was looking at earlier this morning that was trending. What the fuck was it? Hold on. Let me see if I can. Because some of the stuff that be trending on Twitter, it gets pushed down, but you can still find it. Let's see if it's here. Couldn't have been that important because it ain't fucking here anymore. I think that's it, really. There wasn't a lot that I really got into today. I was playing with the Leo all morning.
Oh. She's still getting her I love you Tues out.
Yes. And it's hilarious. Like I said, I just don't be thinking to catch and record it. And anytime I do think about it, she don't say it. Because, kids are douchebags.
All right. Monkey, you got any fucketry?
Well, starting with the one that Satsu was talking about with this whole hashtag no Republic. It's not even a hashtag. It's just so many people have said no Republicans that it was trending. It comes from a breaking news story from Brian Tyler Cohen, who is a political commentator who does daily videos on YouTube and Facebook. And he tweeted out, the Senate has voted 50-49 in favor of moving the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package forward using budget reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
No Republicans voted for the resolution. And everybody's like, oh my God, no Republicans voted for it. This is not, I repeat, listen to me, people. This is not the vote on the bill. This is simply a vote to limit the ability to use filibuster on this bill.
Mm-hmm.
This is a parliamentary procedure that the Senate can use. That the House uses it too, but very, very seldom because they have a different breakdown with their membership, where the Senate trying to get that 60 vote can be a bitch sometimes. So for 3 times a year, they're allowed to use something called reconciliation, which if they use it means that when it comes up for the floor vote, you can't filibuster the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it means. This was just a vote against not being able to use the filibuster. That's it. And everybody's like, the Republicans didn't vote for it.
Yeah, some of these comments, man, they're something else.
Yeah. And it to me, it's very much like the GameStop thing was last week, where so many people, fucking short sellers. I'm like, you don't know what a short seller does, do you? You just saw somebody pissed off about it, and you decided to jump on the PMS hype train. Which, by the way, short sellers in the last 2 days would have made $200 profit per share thanks to the bullshit that happened last week. Good job teaching them a lesson. What else do we have? The only other one, this guy, Dave Jorgensen from the Washington Post. He tweeted out today, people consuming literally anything or any media besides journalism. Here's my money. People consuming journalism, PayPal. I get the paywall frustration, but I also like to pay rent. I'm so sorry. And he goes on. These are a series of 1 to 2 line text. The next one says, don't worry, fam. TikToks are still free. I'm learning in the replies that if you just declare something a public service, it's free. Headed to all of your jobs now for free things. I definitely agree that more bundle subscriptions that include multiple newspapers would be great, by the way. While you're all here, who will join me in saving Dave Thomas Circle? I don't know what that last one's about. But going back to his first one, I understand the frustration behind paywalls, and just full disclosure, I subscribe to the Washington Post. And I do that because they know a lot of people aren't going to read their fucking stories. Mm-hmm. And that's where my problem with paywalls come in. It's not that. It's that these shitbags will make these fucking ridiculous headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that everybody can still see their headlines, and they'll tweet the fuckers out, and they'll have everybody who works for them tweet it out, so it gets out there far and wide with no context whatsoever. And then you read the actual story and you find out, oh, y'all some lying shitbags. So my only real problem with the paywall thing is that they're a bunch of lying shitbags, and if they had better headlines, people wouldn't want to read their stories anyway.
Yeah, I was actually about to mention that earlier when we were talking about when it was mentioned that you got to pay for like some of these services or whatever. I'm like, the only reason that a lot of these companies are even brave enough to do that, like to block off their own material to behind a paywall, knowing that people won't read it, is because they write these fucked up ass headlines that they know people are going to push a narrative on, regardless of if they read the story or not. So I'm just like, they can still do that with confidence and not have an issue, because they're just like, yeah, well, our narrative is going to be pushed regardless. We just have to make the headline extra fucky. So,
yep. That's all I got.
Okay. Now, let's see. Do we have enough time for a Mad Lib, you think?
Yes, we have 4 minutes.
4 minutes? Well, or however much time as I want to spend on it. If Google will work for me. Let's see. Whose Mad Lib site shall I try to use today? What's this one? Oh, this is an app Mad Lib thing? Okay, no, I'm not going to do that one. Let's see. How about this? We've done this one before. Okay. Chat, this is what I need from you. You give me one of each, and I'll be able to fill 6 different slots with this. That sounded a bit innuendo-ish. But anyway, I need a plural noun and a verb. A plural noun and a verb. And with your suggestions, I'll be able to take care of about half of this list of words. So starting with that, Satsu, I need an adjective.
Wasted.
Wasted. Monkey, I need an adjective.
Oh, smelly.
Now it's going to be nouns for the next several guys, so get your nouns ready. Satsu, I need a noun.
A pickup truck.
Pickup truck. Monkey, I need a noun.
Oh, shiv.
Okay. Satsu, I need a noun.
Cheese grater.
Monkey, I need a noun.
Murderer.
Okay, and lastly, Satsu, I need a part of the body. Shall I just fill it in?
Yeah.
All right. Weenus. All right, all over to chat. Plural nouns. I need some plural nouns. Dom O'Leary says slimy foreskins. Well, that's an adjective and a noun, but I'll put in foreskins. Okay, another plural noun. Froggy says beetles.
Of course, the frog says bugs.
Frog says bugs. Another plural noun. Let's see. Sorry. Then chat jumped because I was looking at one thing and then it jumped to the other. Tack Alpaca says forests. Forests? Okay. Forests. All right. On to verbs. Verb. No. Come on. Licking, says Poker Pierce. Okay.
Wouldn't it just be lick?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's true. Lick. True enough. So we got lick. USP says thrust.
Oh, yeah.
Thrusting, but don't put in thrust. What was that?
That was my heater. I was turning it down a little bit.
Oh, I was like, oh no, we're getting to the end of the movie when it's about to blow. Oh no, push the button. And Prospero says masticate. All right. And with that, here we go. This one is called The Farm. I spent last summer on my grandfather's wasted farm. He raises oats, wheat, and a pickup truck. Grandfather also grows lettuce, corn, and lima foreskins.
Ew.
My favorite place to lick on the farm is the shiv house where grandfather keeps his smelly chickens. Every day, each hen lays round, smooth beetles. Grandfather sells most of them, but keeps some so the hens can thrust on them and hatch cute, fuzzy little forests for an hour and climb a cheese grater without losing your weenus. I'm looking forward to next year when grandfather is going to show me how to drive his cheese grater, sow the murderer, and masticate the cow.
What kind of farm is this again?
Apparently a beetle farm truck foreskin growing operation. I don't know.
They got void chickens that lay beetles.
Yes. So there you go, everyone. Thank you for your contribution.
That was wild.
Yeah, I'll be posting that. I'll post that to Twitter presently. But with that, we're at the bottom of the hour, and this is your time, chat. If you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints, conspiracy theories, put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those so we know they're for us. If you have statements for us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. If you don't know what I'm talking about, too bad. So sad. Motto Winter. Oh, Lords. Would you all try some fried liver? Nope. Done.
No.
Yeah, that was a quick one. Dr. Keeve, after Monk leaves, will you guys still say monkey dick when shilling? Well, yeah. It's tradition now.
Oh, did you think that Monkey's dick wouldn't matter just because he's not here?
Yeah.
My dick always matters.
It's Monkey's dick is like Jesus Christ. He's just always there.
Yeah. Kind of like
excuse me?
What?
Okay. Oh boy, we got a bunch of or questions. Attack Alpaca, KFC or Popeyes? I had Popeyes once years ago, so I can't honestly compare the two. So I just by default have to say KFC.
That's the right answer anyway.
That's it.
It depends on how I'm feeling. If I want chicken that's just delicious, then I'll go for KFC. But if I want chicken that's also delicious and it'll make me want to kill myself afterwards, I'll do Popeyes.
Ebony Williams, popcorn or pretzels?
Popcorn.
It depends on what I'm doing. Like there's a whenever I think about eating pretzels, I always think about watching football with my dad when I was a kid. And he always had a big bowl of pretzels, either the single sticks, those little stick pretzels, rolled gold or whatever. And so when it comes to pretzels, I always have a fond memory of watching football with my dad eating pretzels. So if it's football that I'm watching, even though I'm not a football fan, it'd be pretzels. If it was just about anything else, probably popcorn.
If we're talking hot pretzels, then definitely hot pretzels. But if we're talking regular ass, dry ass, I need some Kool-Aid ass pretzels, then popcorn.
Well, yeah, big soft pretzels you get like at the mall or something. I like those. But
Target, man, oh my God. I used to work at Target at the food place. So I smashed the motherfucking pretzels, dude.
Gulf City Peterbilt Confederacy. Y'all ready for the new Peterbilt and Raptor R tomorrow? I don't know what that means.
Somebody making a Reddit.
Oh, could be.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Reddit is like foreign fucking land to me. I've tried to go over and Reddit on so many occasions, and I'm just like, this place is not for me.
I've never even, except in like rare instances where I'll be trying to look up, like, I was trying to look up something, how to do something in Windows the other day. One of the things popped up that says the answer, and it was a Reddit post. And I was like, oh, that's usually just like a random thing I'm looking up that'll take me to a Reddit page. But I've never actually perused Reddit for anything in particular. It's still, it's just like, I think of it as just a message board. I know it's much more than that and everything, but never got into it. Let's see. On the chat jumped. Seftus Wolf, is Monkey leaving to start another stream and go to war with Lawton West Side Story style? When you're a jet all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day. I don't know. Monkey, you gonna start a competitive evening stream against us?
No.
Yeah, that would seem kind of counterproductive to the whole purpose of you taking off. So,
yeah, one day would be on same time as you, one time 8 hours later.
Yeah, there you go. Check your logic. Or. Well, am I looking for gold, or am I rowing a boat? Angry Illinoisian, will Monkey take the rights to the corner with him, or will one of you be able to put people in the corner?
Oh, no, I retain the right to put people in the corner. That doesn't stop anyone else from being able to do it. You just can't put a host in the corner from the chat. That's not how it works.
But is it the same corner if you're not here?
That's a question for philosophers.
Yeah, that's an existential concept. Yeah, the corner might be a pocket universe of which only the three of us have access to, regardless of whether we're on the show or not. So, let's see. Pyrus Creed, are there any porn stars we can replace Monkey with? Any? Sure. Any that would actually be on the show? Couldn't tell you. The only porn star I ever had on was Kate Kennedy. And I think the whole Monkey angered her or something with something, and hasn't been any sort of impetus to invite her back. Not that she did anything wrong, as far as I can tell, but
I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, I seem to recall that Monkey said that she doesn't like him or something.
Yeah. Shortly after being on the show, she quickly unfollowed me. I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. I thought something actually happened.
Oh.
No, okay.
She just got bitchy.
Let's see. Attack Alpaca, will you take any interest in the Summer Olympics this year?
Nope.
No. I'm trying to think of the last time I cared about the Olympics, any of them.
I'll watch replay of some things. I still like watching gymnastics. I still like watching boxing and the basketball highlights, but not. I haven't been really into the Olympics since '84 when the whole country was, and everybody's like, "We got to see it."
Yeah, I don't actively pursue the Olympics, but yeah, the highlights, something crazy happens, whatever, usually something terrible, but yeah, I'll see those. The last time I paid any attention to the Olympics at all that I recall was just because of the scandal with Tanya Harding and all that. But I wasn't actually paying attention to the Olympics. It was just all over the news anyway, so you kind of couldn't avoid talking about the Olympics. But that was it. Yeah, I don't really care. Let's see. Peterbilt says Ford's going to put the Mustang GT 500 5.2 V8 in the Raptor to fight the Ram TRX. You're speaking Greek to me. I understand what a Mustang is as far as being a car. What is a Raptor in this instance? Ebony says, I'm on Reddit and I barely understand it. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'd have to find some kind of niche thing or something. I guess that's what all Reddit is anyway. Cougar Knife, Monk, how are we supposed to move on when you keep coming back to moisten our ear holes?
I haven't come back yet. I never left.
This Saturday is his last show, guys. He's here until Saturday. So, as we said last week, and that's how it is now. So
Speaking of which, one of the comments I got on one of our streams recently was, "God, Monkey's voice is so sexy." All right,
You're not wrong.
It's true. He's got the voice for radio, like him and P-Dog. Got those radio voices going on. The golden throat. Cannibalistic Wizard, honey roasted turkey burger served on rice with a peppered gravy, a honey lemon ginger jello shot, and a tall glass of strawberry infused tea. Not so much on the jello shot. The turkey burger on rice with gravy, that sounds fine. And strawberry tea, sure.
Nothing sounded gross. I'd try it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
lemon ginger Jello shot. Yeah, I don't know that one. And then chat jump, guys. So I missed your question. Just reposted. Motto Winter. Oh lords, would y'all shave meth cat for a barrel rack filled with barrels of fine liquors? Meth cat? Is that an actual cat on meth? I don't know. Shave a meth cat. I don't know what that means.
I'm just going to go with no.
Yeah, I don't. Terrorizing animals really isn't my thing, strangely enough. Satsu, would you shave a meth cat?
No.
Data Wasteland. Scribbles, is it racist if we ask Satsu to wear a ranting monkey costume on Monday?
Why would that be racist?
I don't know.
The usual response to that is, well, it depends on if you equate black people with monkeys.
Is that something you've considered, Monkey? Like having like ranting monkey onesies or something as part of your merchandise repertoire?
No, because that involves getting like real people involved in making my merchandise rather than just instead of just a company that allows us to put our stuff on existing shirts and things.
That's true. Devil Fruit, I missed Monkey's announcement stream question time. Is he going to come back as a guest once in a while? I don't know.
If invited, probably.
Yeah, I mean, like the mafia, he never really leaves. So, yeah, on occasion, I'm sure. Like, if something crazy in the world happens, like something really like outlandish happens or something, probably invite him on. Or if he just feels like coming on, whatever, open invite otherwise. Pyrus Creed, Satsu, have you watched The Dragon Prince or redo of Healer yet? I think you already answered part of this.
Nope, still haven't watched The Dragon Prince and redo of Healer. I can't find where to watch it uncensored because I don't want to watch the censored version of it.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I generally feel about any shows like that. If it's a real kind of visceral, and it's like, oh, you got to watch this so fucked up. Like, I don't want to watch the censored version. Like that defeats the purpose. Like, and I get some people like, oh, well, I'd rather like, why would you go and watch something that is literally popular because of how fucked up it is, and watch the censored version? Like, doesn't make any sense.
Boy, I sure do like that PG version of Perfect Blue. Why? Frosted
porn. It's weird.
Yeah. Frosted Glass, you're challenging someone to a duel. What weapons do you go with for both people?
I get a gun and they get a piece of spaghetti.
All right, James. Yeah, do that because I've been looking for it. I want to see it. I'm like, I don't want to watch a censored version. No.
What do I choose as what weapons? Vampire the Masquerade lore knowledge.
Wait, what?
I think I'd win. You're challenging someone to a duel. What weapons do you go with for both people?
Oh. Nowadays, I don't know, common sense.
Backscan. Ranting Monkey, does your ego get sore with all the petting it's been getting since you said you were leaving?
You think my ego's changed? Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all don't seem to understand. It doesn't get bigger or smaller. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah. Everest really doesn't change its shape all that often. So, let's see. Motto Winter. Oh lords, have y'all heard that compromise is forbidden now, as it is now a race? It is now a racism because of the 3/5 compromise. Oh, is that what it is now? Yeah, well, when everybody's saying we want unity and everything else, but then still vilifying half of the U.S. population and their representatives, compromise is always a terrible thing. Unless you get everything that you want, I guess, which isn't a compromise. Let's see. Cannibalistic Wizard. They didn't say the meth cat had to be alive during and after it got shaved. Ebony Williams, Scribbles, how much would it cost for you to narrate my life for a month? Really? Truth be told, guys, to this moment, even after editing videos for 4 years now, I still hate my voice. I still think my voice is ridiculous sounding. I mean, when I hear it in my own ears, it doesn't sound too terrible. When I hear it recorded or played back to me, it's like, but how much would it cost me to narrate your life for a month? Like every move you make, every breath you take, I'll be watching you. I'd have to set some kind of hourly rate, I guess.
Bail money for having to follow you like that when somebody calls the cops on him.
Yeah, it's like I just like walking around with a tape recorder, like right behind her 3 feet every day, all day for a month. And just describing everything she's doing.
Yes, triggering the fuck out of all kinds of women everywhere.
Oh yeah. It's like, what's that guy doing? What would be the hourly rate for my persistent voiceover work? I have a feeling I would lose my voice for the rest of my life if I had to talk straight for a month. It's like, now Ebony is sleeping. She's still sleeping. She's continuing to sleep.
Oh, she just farted in her sleep.
Yeah. As I sit over her bed, looming over her, watching her while she sleeps. I'm not allowed to rest. I must do this, for I'm on the clock. Perpetually. I don't know. Minimum wage is what, $15 an hour now? Let's see. Okay, Cougar Knife. Does it bother anyone else that Dog Cat Fox is basically Hand Banana from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and that makes Monk Carl? I've never watched that show, so I don't know the reference. I don't know the references. I'll assume it's something insulting to Dog Cat Fox and something victimish to Monkey.
I get the reference. I just don't understand the analogy.
Okay. Froggy Scribe, my dad just said he could beat you at Vampire of the Masquerade trivia. Oh, really? Okay. Let me think on that for a second, Froggy. Let's see. Marmer132, Scribe, I love your voice. It's very relaxing. Really? I mean, I'm not implying that you're being dishonest or anything. It's just like I hear my own voice. I'm just like, really? I don't know. Let's see. L Wolf says I should charge $25 an hour. Okay. Chat jumped again. Pirates Creed. Can we stop calling Lords of the Night Latin since it defends Satsu as acronyms are racist according to San Francisco schools? Acronyms are. I must have missed that article. When did that happen? Acronyms are racist?
I haven't heard that one.
That's a new one. I read that story from that San Francisco school district teacher who found Bernie sitting in a chair freezing his ass off at the inauguration as an example of white privilege. But I hadn't heard that acronyms were racist. Let's see. So let's see. Dr. Keefe, so BLM and ACAB are racist now? Apparently so. Dumb Beard, my wife loves your voice too, Scribe. It reminds her of when she used to trust NPR.
Oh my God.
What? Wait, I sound like NPR? Really? Or an NPR type host? Really? Okay. Willard Ford, Scribelight. As a streamer and occasional content creator, I hate the sound of my own voice too, but some others are cool with it. Yeah, like I say, I appreciate anybody who appreciates my voice because I'm my biggest critic about it. But I can't help but be surprised because when I hear myself up against like Monkey or P-Dog, I feel like I'm in the wrong place. So appreciate it. Let's see. Trying to think of like some obscure Vampire the Masquerade trivia. Of course, I wouldn't know if Froggy's dad was doing the internet search or something, but let's see. What would be a good... Trying to think of something that's like obscure enough, but not like totally impossible. Okay, I'll start off with something... easy. Well, maybe not easy-ish, but at least if he knows some of this stuff. Okay. How did the Giovanni clan acquire their vampiredom who acquired it, and from whom did he acquire it, and why did that person allow it to happen? That's that. I mean, it's kind of a complicated question, but all of it is related one to the other. So if he knows the origin of the Giovanni clan, he should be able to rattle that off relatively quickly. And admittedly, the base question of reasons why it was allowed to happen can vary, but there's one prevailing theory from the lore. So let's see. Midnight Exile, Diablerie from Salubri. You are incorrect, but nice try. Well, let me just put it this way. That's you're thinking of the wrong clan when it comes to that. Let's see. Frosted Glass, how could Scribe sound like NPR when he has a personality? I remember when NPR, I remember when these things that are so left-wing now, there was a time where they were decent. They're relatively neutral, like NPR used to be okay back in the day. I mean, sure, they were always a little liberal and everything, but they weren't like crazy liberal like they are now. Let's see. Check your logic. I still admire how Scribe sounds like a former college professor of mine who's the same height. Oh, I guess I have mentioned how tall I am before. Okay. Well, I've never been a college professor. So. Delfruit Zero, sounding like Kermit the Frog is cool. What is the problem with your voice? I don't know. I think say I've always not enjoyed hearing myself talk in that way. I've gotten used to it over the last several years, having done all the editing and audio work that I've had to do for my videos and such. But I still, like I say, I can't help but compare my voice to those around me, and like Satsu and Monkey and P-Dog and Drunkle and Irate Alex and Tailed. In my mind, they all sound way more polished as speakers and with voices that are pleasant and soothing, etc., than I think of my own.
I'm surprised you put me on that list.
Why wouldn't
I? I've never heard anybody say that about my voice.
No, I think you have a very soothing voice.
Huh.
Yeah. Check your logic. Drunken Uncle sounds polished. Well, I mean, when he's not like high pitched screaming like a little girl, but maybe it's the accent or something. It just the cadence of his voice, his vocabulary, how he expresses himself, how he'll rattle off long strings of words without stumbling over himself, without any ums or ers or anything else. It's all it sounds like it's almost scripted, but he just does it naturally. I'm very, envious of that ability. Let's see. Has Froggy responded yet? I wonder.
I like how you just said, I love how Drunkle can't shut the fuck up. In a very nice way.
I was being diplomatic. Let's see. I'm curious to find out if Froggy's dad can give the chain of events there.
He on the googs.
But Midnight Exile was close, but it was that was a different clan he was thinking of, or at least the name he mentioned off is related to a different clan. Cougar Knife confirms Scribe has a secret crush on Drunkle.
Who doesn't?
I just love my vitamin C, and where can you get that better than from a pineapple? And Kermit the Frog. Hello, Kermit the Frog here. Oh, Miss Piggy is angry. Depends on what pitch I'm doing. It's whether it's the Jim Henson version of Kermit the Frog or his son's version of Kermit the Frog. Froggy, too much for me to type. Okay. Well, give me the two primary names there. The person who acquired it for the family and the name of who he acquired it from. And I'll assume your father knows the big bits of it. Just give me those two names. That should be relatively brief. Duolingo, how can anyone unfollow Monkey? He's awesome. Can we talk about unfollowing Monkey?
Yeah.
I'm guessing talking about Kate Kennedy.
Oh, right.
I'm a little too conservative for her taste.
Yeah, Monkey's a little acerbic, as the word might go.
She is a flaming liberal.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Just that it's true.
Yeah.
We're just different people.
Well, she still lets me follow her, so I get plenty of rear end shots from her and many other things. Let's see. Andrew Joyner. I wish I sounded more manly like Monkey, but what are you going to do? Well, yeah, I don't know. Just start talking in a deep voice like this. Do like that Elizabeth, what's her name from Theranos did, and just artificially lower your voice.
Why'd you give me a little bit of a southern accent there?
No, I wasn't giving you a
Little
southern
bit
accent. I was just giving like an example of a lowered voice.
Lower your voice a little bit like this.
I don't know if I've ever heard Scribe do a deep voice without adding a little bit of a southern kind of twang to it.
Well, I wasn't imitating Monkey. I was just doing a low voice. And as far as the southern twang things go, it's probably because most of my relatives come from the South, and I don't know. I think of like John Wayne or Cowboys or something when it's like manly, like I do declare or something. Ebony asks, Satsu, how much would it cost you to narrate my life from my... Oh, I see how it is. I see how it is. Oh, never mind. Okay, well, I guess we're in a bidding war now, Satsu. I said $15 an hour. How much are you going to go for?
I mean, considering it's going to be a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week job, I mean, whatever minimum wage you want to employ in America is good enough for me. Getting paid all day, so let's go.
Let's see. Mr. Yes, Satsu, any plans to go see Godzilla versus Kong?
Nope, not a single one.
Okay. Sorry. Message here. Get that out of the way. Sorry, guys. Get back to that. Andrew Joyner, what do you think of the Times hit piece on Jordan Peterson and his daughter? I know nothing about that.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. Mr. Yes, Scribelight, favorite food from a food court in your local mall or any mall that you have been to? Favorite food from a... Well, the one that I got the most often from was at the mall I used to work at. There was this little restaurant. It was like a 50s diner kind of setup, and they had really good burgers and fries. So when I could and I had the time to, because it took them a little while, they were kind of a sit down restaurants. They weren't fast food per se, so you'd have to have a little extra time. So I'd go there and get burger, fries, and a shake, and it was always really good. You guys have any favorite mall fare that you go to?
No.
I can't remember the name of it, but I used to work at Tower City in Cleveland, and there was this place you go to where to get pretty much the only thing they sold was like teriyaki chicken or just teriyaki everything basically. And they cooked it right in front of you on their little griddle or whatever. And sometimes they'd make a little show out of it or whatever, but you just hear the clanking of the spatulas and shit because they'd be cutting all the chicken up and stuff. And when they pour the teriyaki on there, all the steam come up. Like they were like the loudest ones in the food court, but that shit was delicious. I used to get that quite often.
Let's see. Pyrus Creed, Satsu, when do you intend to give your daughter the authentic black father experience and go out for a pack of smokes?
You remember that statement I made before about about people who probably aren't racist but do a really bad job at convincing people otherwise?
Oh man. Well, with that, guys, by the time I'm done with this, we'll be at the top of the hour, and thus the end of the show. I'm still waiting to see if Froggy's going to get me that her dad's response, but you can tweet me with whatever he said, and I'll verify one way or the other. Let's see, you guys doing a game stream after this or anything?
He will be playing you over on his channel, and I will be lurking.
Okay, so over on where are you going to be, Monkey?
Twitch.tv/rantingmonkey.
Twitch.tv/ranting monkey, guys. And you'll be playing what again?
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley. All right.
We're going into summer.
Ooh, summertime.
Yeah, baby.
Let's see. Per usual, tomorrow night we'll be on Monkey's channel at the regular time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And Satsu, are you going to be anywhere tomorrow in particular?
I've been trying to find time to do like midday streams, but it's not always convenient and available. It really depends on what's going on. But make sure you're following me on Twitch, so that way you are notified when I do stream. And if you haven't subscribed to my cooking channel, please do. We are 45 subs away from 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
We're very close. Fam 2 cents over on YouTube. I'll drop the link really quick before we head out. Please do. I would appreciate it.
Yep. And as far as myself, I don't have any plans to do anything tomorrow. Thursday will be TEDx Thursday, so look out for that. But you never know. I might get inspired and do something tomorrow. If I do so, I will try to give notice on Twitter. But tomorrow is my usual weekly company team meeting thing that usually takes me into the afternoon. So we shall see. But with that, everyone, again, thank you so much for joining us. Moderators, thank you so much for keeping an eye on things. Even though our audience is so well behaved, you don't have much to do. Everyone who donated, thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity. Really do appreciate it. Also, if you have an opportunity, take a look at Sean Uli's GoFundMe to help him out with getting some new teeth. I'll retweet that out on my Twitter. You can follow us all. Links to the Twitters or the Twitter handles are all in the description. And with that, Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Indeed.
Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Fuck off.
And taking out my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. And today's secret word is hot.
Hot.
That's hot.
Hot.
Is that with a W?
No, it's just hot. Like Buster Poindexter would be singing about.
Huh.
Because he's feeling hot, hot, hot.